It has been quite a while since my last video because I've been on a trip for about 2.5 months, but I'm back and today we're gonna do some work on my Jeep Cherokee. So being away from home for such a long time really gave me time to think about what I can do to improve my videos, and one thing was I wanted to improve my lighting. So as you can see, I've made some changes. I'm still figuring out some bits here and there, but I think the lighting is a lot better already. And also I've got a lot of ideas for new videos and projects I want to do, but before we're going to the new projects, I first need to finish off some older projects. One of them is this Jeep. So since the last video there have been a few changes on this car, and the most obvious one is gonna be the new tires, because the tires I had on there were these from Injora, and they're a quite nice tire, but they were a bit too big for the look I was going for, and also I didn't like the thread pattern on them. Didn't look realistic enough to me. So when I found these tires second hand for a good price, I just had to pick these up and just try them out. They're not the greatest tire, but they look a lot better, and for now I think it's fine. I run these for a while. Maybe I'll buy some better quality tires, but this is right about the look I'm going for. So when changing out these tires to these new ones, the shocks that were on the car by the time were way too long, and the car kind of looked like a monster truck on its transport wheels, and it looked pretty terrible. I don't know if I can show you right now because it's very dark in here obviously, but I really wanted to test out these tires, so I had to just throw some shocks on there that I had laying around, and the only shocks I had by the time were the shocks of my custom built rally car before I changed out the shocks to some longer ones for more rally suited driving. So this car is currently running on street shocks, on road car shocks. Yeah, that's not ideal, but actually it drove surprisingly well. That's because this car is so heavy with the hard body and the roof tent on the top. It's so heavy that actually those stiff street shocks weren't even too bad, but we are going to change them out today. So let me show you what shocks are on there right now. Let's take the body off. Right, so here are the shocks. As you can see, they're on-road street shocks, and they are very stiff, but yeah, as I said, they work surprisingly well. But we're going to change these for these Injora dual stage spring shocks, and I really wanted to get some of these shocks in particular because of the dual springs you can put a stiffer spring at the top and a softer spring at the bottom, and I really want that because with the heavy body on this car it's really hard to tune the shocks right for all situations, because I want the shocks to absorb all the little bumps when you're just driving around. But to do that you have to have soft springs on there, but when you have soft springs on the car, the body is so heavy, and especially very top heavy with the roof tent. When it starts to lean over to one side, the springs just aren't strong enough to push the car back up, and it just sits leaning over all the time. So I'm hoping with these shocks I can kind of fix that issue by having a stiff spring and a soft spring to have both shock absorption but also have all the travel, and yeah, just I'm hoping these will work. Let's just open these up and go try them out, I guess. Let's have a look at one of these shocks. There's no oil in there right now, but yeah, to me they look pretty good. They're adjustable here in the top. Oh man, this doesn't rotate very easily, but it should be adjustable. We're gonna put some oil in there, and I'm very excited to see how the dual springs is gonna work. But yeah, so I want to put the lightest oil in the shocks that I have, and that's this 15 weight oil. So we can have some very nice and smooth operation, and the stiffness we're just gonna figure out with the springs. So let's go and fill these shocks up, and yeah, gonna take it apart just real quick. Let's open up this cap. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Well, there was some oil a little bit in there, because there's some oil here in the cap, but yeah, not really enough. I don't have a shock stand or something, so this might be a little bit of a struggle. I'm gonna create a mess, but hey, it is what it is. Alright. Gonna get the air out a little bit. Now I just gotta have to find myself a way to put these up right, so I can let the oil just set for a bit, so I can do the other ones. Right, so I'm gonna do all the other shocks off camera, and then we're gonna get to the next bit. So while these shocks are settling, I've got another modification I want to do, because we've talked about the tires, but I want to do something with these wheels. There's nothing wrong with these wheels, they look pretty good, but a little while ago I came across some photos from last year when I was building this car, and originally it had some white wheels on it, and I thought it looked really cool, so I want to put some other white wheels on it again. So I've got from Injora, I've got these white wheels, so yeah, we're gonna open these up, take these wheels off, change over the tires and all that stuff, and hopefully these are gonna look very nice. It's obviously a bit of personal preference if you like white wheels or not. A lot of people don't really like it. Other people really do, so yeah. I think white wheels look really cool. And these ones look very clean, in my opinion. I'm not very sure if these are gonna match the look of the Jeep very well, but yeah, we're gonna try it out and we'll see. So yeah, let's go take these other wheels off and change the tires over to these ones. There we have the tire. Now on these wheels I have put some extra weight in there. I changed out the stock aluminium ring for this brass ring, and I put this heavy brass weight on the inside of the wheel. So we're going to transfer all of these onto the white wheels as well, because we really want all the weight down low we can get to compensate for the heavy body. So yeah, it's kind of a reverse process of taking the wheel apart, so I'm not going to show all that. Just going to assemble all the wheels and put them on the car, and we'll see what it looks like. Right, so here we have one of our shocks. Take the cap, we're gonna put the cap back on, and hopefully it's not gonna spill too much oil. Alright, there we go, that's tight. Oh yeah, that's what I thought, it's rock solid right now, there's way too much oil in there. I was afraid that was gonna happen. So we push the rod up to the top, and I'm holding it with my thumb at the bottom. Now we're gonna screw the cap back on. I'm not sure if this is how it works, but we got some oil in there. It feels better than it did when it was empty anyways. But yeah. If you guys know how this works, please explain to me, because I'm not fully sure how it works, but I think it's fine for now. Oh, now we gotta reassemble it. And I'm gonna put some of these, hopefully stiffer springs on there. So, let's see. How are these? Or are they maybe softer? I'm hoping they're stiffer. Nope, they look thinner, so they're probably softer. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they're softer. Alright, so I think to start off I'm just gonna put the springs back on that came on it right out of the box. And we're gonna see how that's gonna perform. And then we can tune around a little bit with the other springs that we have. First I'm gonna just assemble it like this again. Like that. Feels pretty good. It's somewhat stiff, not very stiff, but hopefully this should be good enough. Now I'm gonna do all the other ones, put them on the car, and then we're gonna take this car out for a little test drive. Right, here we are in the woods. I've actually made a few slight changes to the shock setup. I've put maximum preload in the rear and no preload in the front. And I've put the shocks at just a slight angle, but all with the stock mounted position, so nothing crazy going on. And when I felt the suspension on my workbench, it felt absolutely perfect, nice and smooth and soft enough so it can absorb some bumps and bounce around a little bit, but still keep the body up straight, so should be perfect. But yeah, let's go try it out. Actually, I'm gonna put the engine sounds just a little less loud, because they're quite loud at the moment. Right, there we go. It's a lot quieter now, maybe a little bit too quiet, but I don't want to be very antisocial because there are some houses nearby, so. No, I'd say that's still good. Oh, look at it. Yeah! It really is absorbing those little bumps, that's nice. Still bouncing around as well, but yeah, that's part of it. Oh yeah, this is spot on. Perfect. Oh, that was awesome. I don't know how well you could see it going over that, but let's go again. Yeah. Oh man, I'm stoked on this suspension, man. It's absolutely spot on what I wanted. So good. Let's go do a little bit of challenging off-road. I know we struggled on this before. But we can try to go this way. Yeah! Let's go. Now let's come back down. Man, this thing looks awesome. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Let me get some nice aesthetic shots, shall we? Yeah, well, I gotta say, I am very happy with how this thing turned out. The shocks are absolutely perfect, exactly how I wanted them. I'm very happy with the wide wheels as well. I know it's a very personal thing, but I love them. And that's the most important thing, right? It's my car, so I gotta love it. So yeah. Please let me know what you think of these wide wheels in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of it. And with that, this is going to be basically it for this video. But I'm far from done with this car, because while driving it today on some hill climbs and stuff, I noticed the brushed motor struggling quite a bit and making some very stressed out noises. I don't know if you could hear that on video, but I certainly could. So that's something I'm going to work on in the next video. I've actually already got a motor laying around at home that's going into this car. So yeah, if you like this video and if you think these upgrades made this car better, please give this video a like. And if you want to see what upgrades are coming up with it next, well, I told you about the motor, but I've got a lot more plans as well. Please subscribe to my channel and then I'll see you in the next video. Yo!